कृष्णानवच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिराहि गोविंद सर्वकारणकारणं चिंतामणि सर्वसुतल्पवृक्षो वर्षावदेश सुरवीरविपादयन्तं लक्ष्मीसहस्रशतसम्भ्रमसेव्यमानं गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
सभी हमारे आचार्य और शास्त्री जी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। We all bow down to Bhagwan Shri Ganesha and all the Shastri ji and Acharya ji.
Next, we would like to welcome Kumar Daveji to the stage to speak a few words.
We can't do anything.
Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaste and good morning everyone. Welcome to 15th Hindu Mandir Executive Conference and 9th Hindu Mandir Press Conference. I would like to congratulate the local team for putting this program. Please give them a round of applause. And also a national team under the Tejal Ben's guidance, they have put together this program. So please give them a round of applause. So Sanjay ji last night talked about the journey of HMEC, and he mentioned about networking, sustainability, sharing. So this is the goal of HMEC. We've been meeting for last 15 years at various places. The whole idea of this is networking and sharing. So, and make friends. I think we have come a long way to this program now. Temple is the center of all the activity. So I would like to share the experience of Indianapolis Temple. We have a beautiful temple and we were the host of HMEC also. So 20 years of Bal Gokulam and Chetna program. When we started, there were 4 teachers and about 10-15 students. There are 3 teachers here, Hansa Bhave and Priyesh Reddy and myself. So 3-4 teachers and 15-20 students. Moving forward, we have 200 students and 20 teachers. So that's the journey that we would like to share. And we are also part of Ekam Vidyalaya program, national level Hindu American One History Network, Peace Conference. So our team, we have brought today, we have chairperson, the executive, youth. How many of you are from Hindu Temple of Central India? So whole the youth group is from Hindu Temple of Central India. I give them a round of applause. So HMEC is not only big good speakers come and give a talk and nice food and all. what I like about HMEC is at the end of each HMEC we have resolution and people in the team work after that. I personally have worked on Hindu Antesi Sanskarko and Viva Sanskarko. There are a lot of, you will hear a lot about HMEC and what, so it's a work program. So we all should become a Hindu ambassador. I think it is our responsibility to spread this word and pass it on to the next generation. So let me again introduce the MC for today's program, Ridhima Kumar and Sneha Vashishtha. They are from Indianapolis. Little bit about that. So Sneha is a senior at Carmel High School. She served as a youth leader of Executive Committee of Hindu Temple of Central India in 2021 and has been a biological student and assistant teacher for many years. She is a Sanskrit student as a foreign language graduate and teachers. She is a assistant teacher for weekly children's activity also at the temple. Additionally, Sneha is a violinist in the Indianapolis Youth Symphony Orchestra, a Bharatanatyam dancer, and a Girl Scout senior ambassador. Sneha enjoys volunteering at the mandir and staying involved with the community. Please welcome Sneha. We have Ridhima Kumar. She is a senior in high school. She is the youth coordinator of Hindu Temple of Central Indiana and has been involved in the Chetna program for the past few years. She is an active volunteer in her community, having been a part of local library, the temple, the initiative of Seva Diwali. Ridhima has been a youth representative at the temple in Seva Diwali events and other Seva activities, and has earned the Presidential Volunteer Award. Outside, she loves to read and has been doing Taekwondo for 9 years and pursuing for black belt. Please welcome Ridhima. So I will hand it over to the next generation, Ridhima and Sneha.
Okay, thank you, Kumar Uncle, for that amazing speech. We would like to officially welcome you all to the 15th Annual Hindu Mandir Executives Conference. Just as a couple of reminders, you received an orange bag
So in the far right corner in the back, you'll be able to see a sign posted that there are 3 minutes left, or 1 minute left, or 0 minutes left. That's one sign you is showing in the front here.
And finally, all moderators and panelists should make sure to come to their session location 5 minutes before the start time so we can help you get adjusted. Now we'll give a quick overview of the agenda today that you can reference in your Monday Bani book.
So first we are having our inaugural session, which is right now, and it will go until 10 a.m. At 10, we will have a short break, and we will meet back here at 10:15 to start session 2. Session 2 will be from 10:15 until 11:15, and at 11:15 we will start session 3. Session 3 will go until 12:15, and at 12:15 we will have lunch, which will conclude at 1:30.
We will meet back in this conference room by 1:30 and have session 4 until 2:45, session 5 from 3:45, and a break from 3:45 to 4:15. Make sure to return promptly after the breaks to the exact location specified. And then finally, we will begin breakout rooms, which will be until 5:15.
After the breakout rooms, we will meet back in the main hall for session 7, which will be a recap of the day and go until 6:15. And at 6:15, finally, we will have our concluding dinner as well as a program for the evening. So now we would like to invite our first speaker, Shri Vinod Sudhaka from the Hindu Temple of Greater Cincinnati.
Let's please give him a hand as he comes up here.
Thank you, girls. That was very well done. The only thing you missed is the restrooms are right outside this door up the ramp. Namaskar, everyone. Thank you for coming to Cincinnati and joining the HMEC conference. We appreciate you being here. I am not going to give a speech. I want to make this interactive. And just because I make it interactive each time, you will see that most of the Cincinnati people are missing. Alright, so there are seats on the side. Now, I have a reason why they're missing, okay? The Cincinnati people are very, very, very dedicated to this temple. They are like temple elephants. You have to make a lot of noise and it'll take one step. So they are on their way. So that's it. Our temple, and I'm going to ask for a show of hands over here, okay? Our temple, hopefully you've noticed, has been around for a long time. Can anybody tell me how many years it has been around for? 25 years. 25 years. Now, 25 years at this location, it started somewhere else and moved here. So we are celebrating our Silver Jubilee anniversary this year. Just as we're doing the 15th HMEC and the 75 years of India's independence. Right? So that is huge. That is huge. So for this, we have t-shirts for all of you. We're sorry we kind of, on the registration side, there's been a little bit of a seesawing as to where we do the registration. We were completely set up at the temple, but we're doing it here today. Please, if you have not picked up a t-shirt for yourself, please do so. All right? And that is something commemorating 75 years of India's independence. You'll also know that on the back it says temple's 25 years. Now, 25 years this temple has been around, and I know that there are several temples represented in this room that have been around longer than that. I know Pittsburgh, for example, has been longer than that because I got married there in that temple before 25 years. So, show of hands, any temple older than 25 years? Ganesh Temple, New York. Nashville, Tennessee, Ganesh Temple. Dakshinamurti Temple, Australia. ISKCON Temple. California. South Florida Hindu Temple, Miami Lakshmi Narayana Temple. From Devi Bhavan Mandir, Miami, Florida.
Hindu Temple of Florida, Tampa.
Hindu Temple of Florida, Tampa. Hindu Temple of Minnesota. Now, over 25 years, right? All of these have been greater than 25 years. Ji? Sanatana Mandir, Los Angeles. Oh my goodness, I did not know this. Hindu Temple have taken 37 years. I've been to that temple numerous times. I did not know it was there 37 years. Once I went to Chicago.
PFPS New York, about 35.
PFPS New York, 35 years.
Hindu Temple Society of Mississippi in Jackson.
Oh, Hindu Temple Society of Mississippi, Jackson. But sir, last time you told me to represent Dallas. Oh my goodness, multiple temples in one person. Yes, sir, the back.
Hindu Temple of Toledo, 31 years.
Toledo Temple is?
Hindu Temple of Toledo.
Hindu Temple Toledo, 31 years.
Hindu Temple of Greater Chicago, 38 years.
Hindu Temple of Greater Chicago, 38 years. Wow. I'm sorry.
More than 40 years.
Brahmakumari is more than 40 years, but temple location?
New York.
I came from Dallas, but New York.
New York.
Headquarters.
Rajdhani Mandir is Chantilly, Virginia, 37 years.
Rajdhani Mandir, Virginia. Chantilly, Virginia, 37 years. अरे आप 15-20 टेम्पल हो चुके हो ऑलरेडी. 42 years, Radha Krishna Temple, where is this? Los Angeles, acha, okay. और कुछ? केशव is lovely. अब पीछे, sorry, all the way in the back.
Hey, Mulberry Seva Sanctuary in Tennessee, Mulberry, Tennessee, 45 years.
Wow, Mulberry Seva from Mulberry, Tennessee?
Mulberry, Tennessee.
Mulberry, Tennessee, 45 years.
Also Shelbyville, Tennessee, so there's two.
Also Shelbyville, Tennessee.
Hindu Society of North Carolina, 28 years.
Hindu Society of North Carolina, 28 years. So, based on all these folks, ये मंदिर में हम बच्चे हुए और बच्चे भगवान का रूप होते हैं लेकिन भगवान सेवा के सेवक होते हैं है कि नहीं? So I'm going to ask you a few questions today and trust me, I'm going to challenge your thinking. Okay, I'm going to challenge your thinking. Some of you might be upset with me. इसलिए I have asked in all the food today कि नमक और मिर्ची कम डालो. Okay. And by the way, for those of you that are asking, there is no onion, no garlic, guaranteed every dish. हर dish के साथ कोई नहीं होता है. Okay, so now we have these temples here. How many temples do you think have been added to this country in the last 25, 30 years? Any guesses?
500 plus.
500 plus, okay. 700 plus.
1,000.
Cloud goes to 1,000. If this was prices right, he would win. Okay, because he's closest to the number. 1,100 temples were added. 1,100 temples. How great is that? How great is that? We have come, most of us have come to this country as immigrants. Now let us see how many have not come as immigrants. Show of hands if you're born in this country. That is beautiful. Thank you very much for being here. You represent the breed that we really need to connect with. We have no idea how to connect with this breed of yours. Born in this country, believe in Hinduism. Do we follow Hinduism though we are born in this country? That is a question that we should be asking today. Right? So think about how long our religion has survived, right? And thrived. Actually, not survive, thrive. Where is Mananbhai here? Mananbhai and I have very active debates about our religion. And the important question to ask ourselves is how did our religion thrive for this long? And my belief, and I'll give you evidence of this, my belief is by changing, by retaining the culture, but by changing. So whenever I talk to Mananbhai about something, he is a very, very staunch, conservative, rooted in Shastras, Mananbhai. And here is me asking questions, saying, why don't we change with time? So I'll ask you a question. Shastra mein, in the Shastras, is there a reference? Okay, I want to go, first of all, how many of you pray Sai Baba? It's okay. No, Julia. Okay, very nice. Shastra में तो साई बाबा नहीं है. There is no Sai Baba in Shastra. But Hindus embrace Sai Baba's teachings. There is a reason for that. If I were to debate that, I would say because anything related to Sai Baba is not in Sanskrit. Most people speak languages that are not Sanskrit, so rooted from Sanskrit, but most people speak English today. If you want to connect with our kids that are born in the US, the language, the medium is English, whether you like it or not, folks. And we have to invent and reinvent and innovate for our religion to grow. So this is a challenge to all of us in this room, a challenge to ourselves, a challenge to our beloved and respected priests, to our saints. Help us. Indiana just mentioned that they had 200 students in their temple. You extrapolate that, nationwide, there are probably 40,000 students. Are they going all the way K through 12? Most people drop off. Alright? For the kids that stay in the program, that is wonderful. But most people drop off. Very early, actually. And further, if you really think about it, The population of Hindus in the US is 4 million. 4 million. And if you really think about it, at least 600,000 kids should be in schools. We are not even at 100,000. So as we rejoice the fact that these kids, and by the way, show of hands over there in the back, kids from Cincinnati, there's 4 of them. Thank you for coming, guys. There should be 400 of them. 400 of them. What do you listen? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself that. Let us not come to every meeting as Hindus and celebrate our culture and say our prayers and leave without action. We do that, we're in trouble. अरे अभी तो तुम बताया फिर से जीरो बता दिया आपने मतलब ठीक है. I'm going to end this, folks. So throughout the sessions today, you will see a lot of focus on youth. I'm going to request you to challenge yourself. Remember only one thing in each session. Imagine that there is a kid that is born in this country, 5, 7, 8 years old, that is sitting in the room. Please figure out how you are connecting with that kid in every session.
Because you said it's gonna be interactive, I just have a very humble comment. And all for English, it makes sense. But we can also teach our children and grandchildren Hindi. You know, I have a 6-year-old grandson, and he recites Mangala Bhavana. So, बड़ा हिंदी सिखाने में कोई दोष तो नहीं है।
Yes. So, beautiful point. If I can get one more minute done, please, okay? The late start हुआ और मेरे में से पहले कर रहा हूँ. So, let me just tell you one thing, okay? Bal Viha, Prajna, Bal Vikas, 1GIC, Ye, Wo, Ye. How many schools do we have? Do they all teach? Yes. Do they all teach what? They start with shlokas, okay? Now, it is okay, the kids will learn shlokas because when they're kids, they learn nursery rhymes, they have memory, they do that, they will pick that up. We should teach our languages, but the single common denominator should be a standardized K through 12 curriculum that has progression, that starts with storytelling, that ends with Socratic debate, that challenges our people, educates our kids, and they can learn additional languages, including Sanskrit, including Hindi. All right? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that illuminating speech. Next up, we'd like to welcome Srimati Tejal Shah. Tejal Shahji has been a VHPA Karyakarta since 2007, and her current responsibilities include being the Joint General Secretary of VHPA and an HMEC convener. She loves to spend her Sunday morning to afternoon as a volunteer teacher at the Vidya Kendra of Hindu Community Center. And she also runs the Sahaj Dhyan Meditation Center in New Jersey since 2001. Let's please give a round of applause for her.
Namaskar, I will just stay down so I don't waste half a second. Thank you so much. I welcome you all. In very few words, I just would like to share my gratitude. Very humbly, I am very delighted to have all of you here. I was asked to set the expectation for all of us at the end of the HMEC, what should we expect in the beginning, so that we are on the same page when we are here together for 2 days. And the only thing I would say, we need to stay united, we need to support each other, we need to make an informative decision. When it comes to HMEC and interaction of HMEC with every Monday, there are newsletters published, there are email sends. So please pay attention when you get it, pass the message. Even if you are a volunteer of the Mandir, even if you are a small Karyakarta of any organization, any ashram, just watch it and pass the message, read it and pass the message. Try to convince, try to work with your leadership team at your organization. That will bring us the unity and support to HMEC. And HMEC, the second thing that we want to remember while we walk out of here on Sunday, it's not going to be just a once a year meeting. This is going to be an all year running program. Always, it was there, but then we would like to put a more and more emphasis on that. So there will be a twice a month meeting. So when the meeting invitation is sent, please be part of it, share your thoughts, be here. And this is for all of us, this is for our second generation. I think many thoughts are shared on that point, and I don't want to repeat those, we will hear them more and more, but I again put emphasis on the unity and the support we need to share with each other. The another point I would like to make, we have a Facebook page. This is the era of the social media. So please everybody in this room, like the Facebook page and spread the message using the Facebook page. The name is Hindu Mandir Executives Conference, the full name. Okay, so please look for it if you are a Facebook member. We are also on Instagram, we are also on Twitter. So again, watch it, pass the message, share it, and be part of it, support and stay united. Namaste, Hari-Om, and I again would like to thank every sponsor and co-sponsor of HMEC. I want to just take a minute to recognize them. Our host, as you know, Hindu Temple of Greater Cincinnati, Ohio, co-host BAPS. Please, if you are here in this room, get up so everybody knows that which Mandir or institute you are representative. BAPS, then we have Brahma Kumari's Meditation Center from Dallas, Texas. International Hindu University from Florida. These are our three platinum sponsors. Now the gold sponsors, Gayatri Parivar, Hindu Temple of Dayton, Ohio, Hindu Temple of Central Indiana, India Mandir, Atlanta. These are the gold sponsors. And the silver sponsors, Ashti Gurukulam, Hindu Temple of Woodlands, Texas, Kula Kamala Foundation and Yoga Ashram, Sanatan Mandir, California, Sri Swaminarayan Temple, Bhopal, New Jersey, and the last is Srinathji Haveli, Vaishnav Samaj of Southern California. So all these sponsors, we really appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting the HMEC. If we something like come forward, we need to increase the numbers for sure. Namaste, Hari-Om, Pranam.
Thank you, Jatin. I'll be quick. My wife is a timer, so she doesn't have to even raise the. She can look at me and I'll stop. I'd like to welcome and introduce our honorary guest, Professor Ved Nanda. Padma Bhushan Professor Ved Nanda serves as the chairman for Hindu University of America. Professor Nanda is the founding chair of BOT of Hindu Temple of Colorado. So without wasting time, I will introduce and welcome Professor Nanda. Please welcome Professor Nanda.
Sagar Namaskar, Pranam everyone. Delighted to be here with you. Congratulations that after a couple of years of hiatus, because of the COVID, we are together. My apologies that I'm not there in person with you, but please know that I'm there in spirit with you. I am delighted that we are gathered here again. Many years ago, I had the privilege to come to another meeting of the HMIC. And now that 15 years have passed that we've been meeting every year, I think that these leaders gathered here have a great deal of responsibility. All of us have responsibility. And the responsibility is that Hindu values, Hindu traditions are brilliant, are wonderful traditions, but also what we have inherited. It's so precious that we don't need to keep it to ourselves. We need to share it and share it widely. I can give you a couple examples, won't take more time, but for about 14 years, I was the vice provost, vice chancellor of my university. And in this university, we have, as in many universities, large number of foreign students, international students. As I became the vice provost, there was an international house. And in that international house, a church would come and every Thursday give free lunch. And about 300, 400 students would come. And the first day that I got the job, I stood in that room and saw that they were distributing Bibles and they were talking to people. There were about 5 or 6 of their own servers, but that's what they were doing. And I spoke with them afterwards and I said, look, I am not going to permit any of these kind of activities in this international house from anybody. And they promised me that they wouldn't do it, but they continually, afterwards also surreptitiously started doing it. What I want to make for you is that targeted by them was students from India and students from China. And then I realized that the reason for that was that they felt that these students do not have a great deal of anchor inside and they are easy to be converted. I spoke with some of them and later on I simply said that you cannot come and you cannot serve the food here. And instead I had the university people pitch in and we provided lunch, free lunch, but stopped all that practice. And they went to my own board of trustees, and there were a couple of evangelists there, and they felt very annoyed that I had stopped that. But I told my own chancellor that, look, this is the job that you gave me. I am not going to let anyone proselytize. And the point that I simply want to make is that you and I have a great deal of responsibility in this country. We are the ones who are going to give sanskar. As his child grows up, how does he or she get the identity of their own religion, of their own faith? There are only 3 possibilities: at home, in their temple, synagogue, anywhere that they go in order to pray and get some spiritual, religious understanding, learning, and school. And unfortunately, in this country, schools are not going to provide any information about Hindu thought, Hindu values. If anything, it is going to be distorted. And in many homes, again, unfortunately, there are not many sanskars. And in this country, the tradition always has been that people who come from different religions, different settings, different cultures, that this is a simmering pot. They got assimilated. Some of my colleagues tell me, and they have told me several times, that look, you keep talking about Hindu identity. You are very keen about keeping that Hindu identity intact. And I tell them there is a reason behind it because all the values, Hindu values that we have. But they have told me and keep telling me, wait for 1 or 2 generations. The 3rd generation you will find that Hindu values, Hindu thought will be in libraries and it will be in those settings where you don't have, in reality, anything happening. And I tell them, you're wrong. I have been to Guyana, I have been to Suriname, I have been to Trinidad, and I have been to Fiji. And in all these places, people who came hundreds of years ago have never been to India. But they brought in with them Hindu Sanskriti, Hindu thought, Hindu values. They still keep them not simply intact, but very proudly they are willing to share it with their own fellow beings in that particular country. Temples have played a very important role in Bharat also, because they were gathering places. They were places where not simply religious and spiritual well-being was, but at the same time it was a place where people from the community would gather. And it was simply a barometer, a thermometer to tell you what kind of temperature is there. Because these are the people, the priests there, people who led the temple. They would know who in the community is sick, who needs help, who's healthy, who's happy. And just like a family, when family, any member is happy, we are all happy and rejoice, and vice versa. So temples play a very, very important role, and they've got to continue to play that. And today, 1,100 temples in this country. I remember in our own setting, the temple when we started, it was somebody's home. We would sit together. That was maybe 30 plus years ago. And then finally a small temple, then a bigger temple, and today a Bhavya Drishya. We had the other day 1,400 people, including a college person who is my former student. And he said, I have never had so much fun. It was holy, and it was all red and blue and all these colors on here. So I think the point simply is that here in this country, keeping our identity intact, keeping our values intact, it's not simply for ourselves. We don't have to be selfish. When we talk about Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, when we talk about the entire human race is one, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and these are not slogans. This is the reality. And I think my simple request to all of you is what we are doing. I'm simply affirming in the University of America, we have a dream, and a big dream, and that is that we want to make this university firmly rooted in Hindu values and a place of excellence. And it's simply a beginning in that direction. The movement is there, trajectory is there, and we, in the days to come, are hoping that we will be able to realize that dream. Similarly, in all these temples, I know that today I just heard about 200 students, and then the point simply was the challenge to us. How many are there today? Younger people who are not coming to our own temples. And I think the point simply I want to make for you is that responsibility is great, and on our shoulders there is at the present time great deal of demand that we step up, because in this country and in many countries where at the present time people cannot even tolerate any differences. It is Hindu Dharma where we said we don't simply tolerate. Toleration means that you are inferior and I'm superior to you and I tolerate you. So we say we accept you, not simply accept you, but we respect differences. Not simply respect, we celebrate differences. And that is pluralism, multiculturalism, that in this country, those buzzwords, they've got a meaning for us. And so my request to you is that as we gather here, as a matter of fact, I'm affirming you. This is what you're doing. And I think I'm simply saying congratulations. And I simply want to say that it's so good that today 11 temples, in 1,100 temples, and I know that the Board of Trustees everywhere probably feels that the community that's there It's not simply Hindu community, but the days to come, we have got to go to Latino community. We've got to go to our African American black friends. And at the same time, in this country, there are so many people who are at the present time very, very much interested in Hindu dharma. It's not simply yoga, it's not simply meditation, but at the present time, what we are seeing is that there is an appetite, there is a need in order to see that these Hindu values, that we spread them, we share them. We are the ones who have got the responsibility to do it. So I want to thank you very much for being here and for giving me the privilege to be with you, even if I'm not there in person. In the days to come, I look forward to being with you in person. And my congratulations to you, my deep gratitude to you for coming together, being here, and doing what you are doing. Sadam Pranam. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to welcome and address the keynote address speaker, Dr. Prakash Rawji, as one of the founding members of the Hindu Temple Society of Mississippi. He was instrumental in building of Kali Siddhi Hanuman Temple, Texas. He has contributed to many Hindu community programs in last 5 decades. He has received Lifetime Achievement Award from President Joe Biden in July of 2022. Please welcome Prakash Rawji. At this time, I'd like to request Sanjay ji and Abhijit to honor Prakash.
Small token of appreciation for Prakash Rawji to be here. Visual Education of America were going to celebrate 50th anniversary 2 months back, and because of COVID we could not. So the Ram Temple that was brought, the Gangajal, the Kumbh, the Sundaram and the Ramayan part. That is what we are gifting to Prakash Rawji. As a token of our appreciation. Thank you so much.
So I have been a teacher for 37 years. Usually I understand, and also usually I prepare some kind of order as if I am prepared for the class. So these are the 2 habits I could not follow, so please excuse me. So I have to have these 2 things. I am very, very happy to be here. I attended the first one and afterwards busy with so many other things. But all of us are in the same journey. For the last 16 years, I have been quite a bit involved in what is happening back in India as well as here in the United States. As I keep looking at it, so I have to mention, some of you may disagree vehemently, but our Hindu house is on fire. We are in big danger. If we do not take some interest as to what is